Hello, welcome back. So we're in section 6 of chapter 8, and we're going to start dealing with rational exponents. Up to now, all the exponents that we've looked at have been integers. And so let's try to organize our thinking a little bit, and you'll see how rational exponents can pop up. So here's what we know. We know that the square root of a times the square root of a is equal to a. What we wonder about is, suppose the square root of a, we don't know what that power is. So we just say, okay, the square root of a is a to some power. We don't know what it is. It's a to the p. So now if we go back and we take this line and rewrite it, what we're going to get is a to the p times a to the p is equal to a. That means a to the 2p is equal to a, and a is the same as a to the 1. That means 2p is equal to 1, which means p is equal to 1/2. What does that mean? Well, here's the really big deal, that the square root of a is really the same as a to the 1/2. And by the same kind of reasoning, we could show that the cube root of, let's say, b can be written as b to the 1/3. And that's where these rational exponents pop up when we're dealing with radicals. So make sure you understand that before we continue. So if we put this together, what this means is that if we have a to the m over n, that means a to the 1 over n raised to the m, which is the same as the nth root of a to the m. Or we could have said that a to the m over n is equal to a to the m raised to the 1 over n, which is the same as the nth root of a to the m. So this piece and this piece are actually equivalent. So what this means is, suppose we have 8 to the 5/3. What that means is the cube root of 8 raised to the 5th. Now the cube root of 8 is 2, that's simple enough. And 2 to the 5th is 32. That's a lot easier than doing this, which would be the cube root of 8 to the 5th. I have no idea what 8 to the 5th is, but I do know that if I figured out what the cube root of 8 to the 5th is, the cube root would be 32. What that means is 32 cubed is the same as 8 to the 5th. And you should be able to show why that's true. 32 is 2 to the 5th cubed. 8 is 2 cubed to the 5th, and when we multiply those exponents, we get the same number. So now we're seeing a lot of things start come together. So here's another example, and this is maybe as tricky as it can get. So suppose we say 16 to the minus 5/3. What that means is 1 over, that's what the negative means, right? 16 to the 5/3, which is 1 over the cube root of 16 to the 5th. Keep going. 1 over the cube root of 16. Well, 16 is 8 times 2, right? So that cube root of 8 is a 2. So this is 2 times the cube root of 2 raised to the 5th. So when I raise that to the 5th, I get 1 over 32 times the cube root of 32. Now 32 has a cube root as a factor, which is 8, right? So that will simplify 2. 1 over 32. The cube root of 8 comes out as a 2, and I'm left with the cube root of 4. But we're not done yet, because we don't want to have a radical in the bottom. So I multiply top and bottom by cube root of 4 over the cube root of 4. My bad, not the cube root of 4, the cube root of 2. Cube root of 2, and that gives me the cube root of 2 over, can you do it? We got a 32 times a 2 times another 2, so that's a 4 times 32, or 128. Wow, that was a surprising problem. I didn't even think it was going to have that much to it, but there you go. That's how this simplifies. So take a second, look through every line of that, make sure it makes sense to you, and then we'll continue. Alright, so here we are with rational exponents up the wazoo, and we got to figure out what to do. First of all, let's multiply the exponents in the top, and we get y to the minus 3/4 over x to the 3/2 y to the 1/2. So now we got to think about what it is we're going to multiply top and bottom by to get rid of radicals in the bottom. Okay, so think about that and let's see if we agree. So do you see why this is the proper thing to multiply by? When I do this and I multiply in the top, I get x to the 1/2 times y to the minus 1/4. That's what I get when I add minus 3/4 and 1/2, which is minus 3/4 and 2/4. But the whole thing now is what happens on the bottom. Well, when I multiply x to the 3/2 times x to the 1/2, I add the exponents and I get x squared, and similarly I get a y. And there you go. So once again, there's the work. Take a second and make sure that you follow every step on that. And once you have done that, we're done with this section. And I'll see you next time.